Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I thought I'd do my first ever Flosstube. I'm doing this way for now, just so that I can get some inspiration and some ideas out for you, and also to share what I've done so far. Little background, I haven't cross-stitched since I think I was about 12, so this is like a whole new world for me again. I've had to relearn everything. I've had to just look into all of it all over again. So hopefully this will be fun. I've got a couple of finishes but not fully finished objects, and I have, I think, four WIPs already, and I've probably been doing this maybe a month or so. a couple of months probably. So not very long since I started redoing this again. So I will share with you a couple of these now. So the first ever one that I started doing, no, not the first one, this is the second one I actually did, and it's called Cherry Love, and it was a download that you get from Fat Quarter Shop. They have some great downloads, like past sales and you know, kits maybe that were available that you can download the charts for, if that's all you need. Obviously they have all the other things that you can purchase, like all the threads. But the thing I absolutely love about their charts is that they not only give you the DMC numbers for the skeins, whatever the word is, and how many you need, but they also give you Colorworks, Classic Colorworks, which is a brand, I think a US brand maybe, and then they also give you a chart of like the colors, so red, pink, green, yellow, whatever it is. And so I love that. I think that's really handy for someone like me who started out with just some basic no-name brand thread. Yes, I did, because I didn't know if I wanted to get into this. I didn't want to spend too much on threads and everything else that goes with it. So a lot of what you'll see on my channel at the moment is going to be just threads and things and fabrics that I have bought that are not the best quality, shall we say, but so far they're working okay. So I think that's great. Fat Quarter Shop does that, so it makes it easy. Like I wouldn't know what these DMC colors are unless I go and look up the chart, but here it just gives me an idea. So red, pink, light green, dark green, bosh. And this is the finished piece. Bit of a mess. Actually not bad considering this was the second piece I started, but but I think this was the first one I actually finished. And yeah, so I love it. I think it looks cool, and I will probably make it into a little cushion or something, a little pillow. Clearly I have enough border. I also at this stage didn't know how to measure. I didn't know how to calculate how much fabric I'd need. I had no clue, so I totally guessed on this, and yeah, this end is so not there, but whatever. And this one I did all in hand. I completely did this one in hand, as opposed to in a hoop, which I have on one of my projects now. Yeah, so that's that one. Oh, this is a white 14 count Ada, and like I say, the threads are no name. I'm calling them my no name brand. They were both were off Amazon, but it is a 14 count Ada in white, if that's helpful. So that was the first one. Another one that I did, because I then got a different kind of fabric, like a different brand, which is also Ada. It's also 14 count Ada. This is kind of like a beige or an oatmeal kind of colour. I think it's called beige, and it's a brand called KCS. Again, Amazon. So I have no idea, but it was a lot more soft than the other one. That one softened up as I used it more, like as I was stitching, but this is the little guy, and this was almost like a sample piece that they sent with the the fabric. So there was 3 in the pack. There was this sort of beige colour. I think there is one called oatmeal, or that might be, it's more of a caramel colour, the next colour, so darker than this, and then a lavender colour. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that one, but but that's the little stitch guy. And again, this is one of the, it's called the petite stitches, and it's Fat Quarter Shop download as well. Yeah, what can I say? It's so good. There's just, I love their charts. They're so easy to read. So the thread, again, these 3 different colours with the symbols. The symbols, I forgot to mention the symbols are there as well. So this one's white, black and red. And then gives you the DMC numbers and how many skeins you'd need. And then also at the top they give you information on like what to use and what you could try. This is meant for like a 10 count, but I used 14 count, so he's probably smaller than what he should be on there. The other thing I did was I used a pale blue, because the white on this colour was quite hard to see, and obviously most of him is white, so I used a just a very pale blue that I had in my stash, and went all the way around the outside. I will show you the mess on the back. I'm learning as I go, like I say. But and also I totally forgot that he had arms, so they went on afterwards, but I think he still looks okay. So I think I'll make him into like a little ornament or something at Christmas for the tree. But that is the mess at the back when I was doing the stitches across from this side to this side. I should have worked this way round. You know, you live and you learn. So this is the second project I've finished. Not fully finished obviously, but it's finished, and it's it was quick. It was pretty quick, and that's also sometimes what I needed. And the reason I needed that is because of the very first project I ever put together. Is called The Scream by, let me just tweak this first, please hold. The Scream by Edvard Munch. I think that's how you say his name. Let me just get the main image. But not the chart, because that wouldn't be right. Right. So this being The Scream, this is off the DMC website. All you do for DMC is you make a little account, and the thing I like about them is that they will you can download the chart on its own, or you can download the chart and then buy the floss, the threads that actually work for that project, and it will put all that together for you, so you don't have to think about how many colors there are, you don't have to think about which ones you need, it just does it for you, and I think that's great. So I, again, because I got no name brand, I just used what I had, and that's where I'm at. This was the very first one I actually started doing ever, and I guessed again on the fabric, and I started it in the middle, and that is as much as I've done. so yeah, that's it guys, that's all I've done on it. And it's kind of his face, but it's, I don't know, I think I should have used a different variation like that. I think the colors are too close here for his face, but hey ho, we shall see. But this is very, what I'm learning in the community is called confetti. So there are a lot of colors, and there are a lot of changes for all the colors. So even in this little section here, there's like a red, like an orangey red, a black, brown, blue, like a navy, orange. Then there's a lighter blue, that obviously for his skin, you know, for his face. And I'm like, wow. So yeah, that I could put down several times, and I still haven't gone back to it. But hey, it is what it is. So let me just pop this back in here. This is just my little setup for them, for my charms. Just so you know, this is what I use. These are Simon Says. You guys that have been here before will know that I have a paper, like the channel is paper crafting and mixed media as well. So we do a lot of different crafts on this channel. But obviously this is now another one I'm adding to the mix. But I use the Simon Says. These are the they're like mesh bags that come in the sometimes come in the craft card kits, the monthly ones. So sometimes you'll get a bag in there, not always guaranteed or anything, and it's not always part of the kit, but sometimes you do. So over the years I've got a few of these, so they're actually a good size for the projects that I have. If I have bigger projects, like much bigger projects, I will probably need a bigger bag, but for now this works. And then what I came up with, because I put all my threads onto bobbins, which is painful, that was a painful process. I actually have these little teeny tiny little tubs that nobody knows what to do with in a kitchen, and so my husband actually said about maybe trying to find something to use in my craft room with these, and these are perfect for the number of projects I have going on. My cat's going to visit now. For the number of projects, no he's not, yes he's very big, in case that thought scared anybody. The number of threads that I had and needed for each project, I started off putting them, I'll just show you quickly. Let's just show you. It's probably easier. Right, to start with, I have these little, it's just cardboard, and I just put no name on there. No name and the number that the no name brand came with, if that makes sense. And these are just, you can keep your floss on these. They're just little cardboard things. You can make these out of a bit of cardboard and a punch or a circle die. Super easy. And so I just labeled them as those colours, of the colours that I'd chosen then for this project. But what the more I got involved with this, and the more this whole new hobby evolved, and is evolving, the more I realised that actually, because I am new to it, what's on here is not necessarily going to be enough for the whole project. Does that make sense? So I decided that actually what I needed to do was keep the bobbins of the colours I'd chosen, because again they're not they're not the called for colours for the project. They're my version of it, which I write on the chart, and I'll show you that in a second. Well, I won't show you the chart, but I'll show you how I do that bit. And by having them on here, I just knew that I suddenly clocked that I wasn't going to have enough necessarily of each colour. Might turn out okay, but it might not. So when I was doing this, which I actually quite like the idea of this, it makes it easier to store in here. It's easier to take on the go, that kind of thing. Not that I do that, but you know, if you wanted to. But it meant that, yeah, I didn't put the whole skein on here, is what I'm trying to say. So if I had, then they all would have been on here, and that would have been easy. I would have just picked all the colours and put them in the bag. So much easier. But no, I decided to put them on bobbins in a nice little box, and they look lovely, but I suddenly, you know, that mental note suddenly dawned on me. So I will use what's on here first, but I've taken out all the colours that I chose for this project. I've now put into these little containers, and they're still on their bobbins, but they're ready to go if I need more of each of these colours. And that way also, because like I say, I've kind of got into this, kind of obsessed, it means that if I go to another project and I pick one of these colours that are for this project, I'm not then using some of that thread for the other project and then finding that I don't have enough, because this is because it's a no name. I wouldn't know where to find this again, basically, unless I bought a whole box of the same thing again. But you don't know what colours you're going to get. There's no guarantee you're going to get exactly the same colours in there, right? So yeah, so hopefully that made some sense. So in the end, instead of doing this, or instead of putting the whole skein on here, which is probably what I should have just done, I have the no names on the bobbins, what they call bobbins, and then I have the two colours I have of DMC. I have in a, like on one of these, what are they called? Floss drops, I think. So just to show you the bobbins, I just labelled them the number that was on that particular colour in the pack that I got, and so that's where that comes in. I don't actually like the bobbins. Yeah, they unravel just as much, because I also, when I was going through this moment, I then thought it would be a good idea to put these on a ring and then just keep that in here. And yes, that worked. It was easier from a packaging point of view. It wasn't so bulky. Obviously having it in a box is a bit bulkier, but the problem was they unraveled, and that irritated me so much, so I had to find another way. So that is what I do for the threads themselves. Then on the charts, DMC have a good chart, well, any of the charts actually, where they give you the color code for the this and the symbol of what color goes with what. They give you on the DMC one, obviously they give you the color in the code because it's DMC themselves. And then what I did was, where it tells you how many skeins you need, I just added the no name number, so I could then put the two together. Hope that makes some sense. I'll fix that in a bit. So that's that one. Oh, this has to be my favourite. Now, if anybody knows me, you know that I like weird and funky stuff. So I did a thing a while ago and bought this book. I could do a whole video on this book. Maybe I will. I love it. I won't go through everything in here. Obviously won't show you the charts because that's not fair. On, you know, the artist. But I love this. There are actually there's another artist. I say artist because I think it's artsy. I can't think what her name is, but she actually has two. The other artist has two books, but they are very similar in the way they've designed the covers and everything. So I actually think they're going to look very cool when I eventually get them. Very cool on a shelf, like kind of like they're a set. I'm all about that. Anyway, she is brilliant. She explains everything. She goes through bit by bit. This is the different thread types. This is how you start off if you're new to it. This is, you know, all the things you need to know. And I wish I had this before I started anything, but good old YouTube and Google, and I made it work for me. So let me just get to the page I can show you. So this is what I'm currently doing with this. I started this around Easter time because I thought I wanted to do one of the spooky ones out of this book, and I love this book. I'm obsessed. Can you tell I'm obsessed? I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Anyway, and if you know me, you know you know that makes more sense to anything about anything. So I decided at the time, because it was around Easter, it was before Easter actually, and I decided, oh, let's do this one because this says Happy Easterween. So she's got it in this beautiful black frame, which I will probably do the same thing. And it's on a black, I happen to have black Ada, and so it's a 14 count again. This is great for beginners. You don't need to be an expert. You know, it is actually really easy. There's a lot of counting, and just the direction of your stitches, they just need to go the same way. It'll make sense if you start doing it, but yeah. And I've now got that down. In fact, it was Meg that actually, in the book, and how she showed how to do this, like how she stitches, because everybody will do it slightly differently, depending which way your first stitch goes down and which one lays on top, which direction that is, because it can go either way as long as they're all doing the same thing. Your overall image afterwards will look much better. It'll look like it's meant to be, whereas if the stitches are going, you know, different directions, you'll notice it in the end result. And so yeah, so this was kind of yeah, I'm sorry, it's the best. I just love it, and it's very colourful. I'm not a super colourful person in that sense. I love colour, like I love it for art and stuff like that, but I just thought the colours on the black Ada is just going to look lush. So as you can see, I've only done this top border, the ghost and the word happy. Oh, and the little candy corns. So that's as far as I got. And you would think, yes, darker fabric is harder to stitch on, but actually the way that I set up for stitching, the little, I have like a little table. it's a lap tray, people. It's a lap tray. But because the background on the lap tray is like a light colour, when I have my light, extra light, on, I can actually, almost like you can see here, where you can kind of see through it a little bit. So it's actually not that bad for me so far. Some of I find the paler colours actually harder to work on, especially when you're dealing with lighter threads. So yeah, but anyway, that's my Easterween. Still working on it. I am going to do a Halloween one. I haven't got a Halloween one yet. I've got a, yeah, and you'll see there's another WIP. So that's my my Easterween, and I love her, and I love the book. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. So the next one, husband, if you're watching this, please look away now. There's a funny story behind this, but I won't go into it. Basically, my husband within 10 seconds guessed what I was going to try and attempt to make for him for his birthday, although it's going to take me a lot longer. So it might be lucky at Christmas. But, but basically, another DMC that I have that I'm working on is this. And if you know me and you know my husband, you will know exactly what that means. So yeah, this is as far as I've got. So this is Starry Night, Vincent van Gogh. It's beautiful. There's a lot of blue. There's a lot of confetti. It's just a lot. But this is as far as I've gone. So for this one, I did the measurements because I've worked all that out. Back Quarter Shop actually have a very good calculator for working out your how much border you want and all the rest of it. And I decided to try and work block by block. So for each 10 stitched, block. I'm trying to do it that way. It's going okay, and we're looking okay, but it kind of looks like it's supposed to, but we'll see. We'll see how far I get with that. Sorry, hubby. His birthday's very soon, so it may not. He may not get that one for his birthday. Because I also want to frame it nicely for him. So anyway, I just gave the game away. Right. So this is my last one. This is the one I'm currently working on. Just purely because I freaking love it. And it is a Christmas one. It's another Fat Quarter download. I love it. And this time I am trying a hoop. I had a very bad, this last weekend, not last weekend, the weekend before, I had a very bad experience with my neck and my shoulders. I'm not saying that stress wasn't involved in that, but I wondered whether it was the way I was stitching. So we are looking at all that stuff. Also, when I stitch on my sofa, my feet are like about 6 or 7 inches off the ground because, I'm short. So looking to sort that stuff out. And it is better now. I've rethought about the way I sit and how I sit, and I think what was happening is I was leaning towards the light, my extra light. So I've made a plan with that, and it is better so far. But I also decided I actually bought a little contraption, which I'm still getting used to, but it required a hoop. So I got the hoop as well, and so this is said hoop. So again, this is the Christmas time. It was a mystery stitch along. It's now a free download, and this is the image that we're going to create. Is without the glare, that would be nice, is that middle bit here. So where the cream part is, obviously they've decorated it and put it into a little tray thing. But that's the that's the gist of it. So this is, and this one, also the other thing, when the patterns are very big, Fat Quarter Shop also, that when you print it, it'll print the whole image, but it will also then print it into quarters, so in a larger scale. So actually I'm doing that, and that is so much easier. It feels weird because I feel like I should be further along the fabric, but actually I'm not. And so here I've done there's the little, so we're in this section here, so I've done the bow, the candy, the start of Merry, and part of this I think is a little book there. And so my next bit on this part of the pattern is going to be the word Christmas. So that's the next bit to stitch, and then I think, oh no, I've got one stitch there I need to put in, and then I'm kind of there. I wasn't sure how the whole overlap thing, because there's an overlap so you can sort of put the patterns together so that you know where you are on here. But actually now that I've done this edge here on the first quarter, I understand how that all works. It actually is super easy, and it's just my brain didn't clock it to start with. So those are my WIPs. So it's actually not as bad as I thought. I thought I had more WIPs because I'd just become obsessed with it. I would maybe do another Flosstube. I'm not sure if I'm going to do them weekly or fortnightly sort of thing. I'll just see how far it gets. I don't track this. I have got a little app that allows for that, but I don't know if I have the patience for it all the time, to be honest. So it might just be like this. We'll just do it like this, and I'll just show you where I'm at, and try and remember where I got to in the previous video, but I'll have to watch that to do that, but that's fine. So yeah, I hope this is fun for you guys. I'm having the best time with it. I love seeing what you guys do. And I love learning. Like every time I watch a different, even if it's a Flosstube rather than a dedicated tutorial, I still learn something from what you guys are sort of just talking through, you know, and how you guys have got on with your stitches for that week or those 2 weeks or whatever it is. So yeah, so yes, these will be longer videos, that's just how it goes. But I hope this was fun for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed this, and yeah, I guess welcome me to the Flosstube world. Yeah, new obsession. So yeah, anyway, until next time guys, bye for now and have a great day.